Hey there, fellows. So here's what we're gonna be doing in today's episode. We got a cable, chain, chainsaw, an auger, and some tools. So say you're in the forest, or the taiga, or maybe some other place. When you got a chainsaw, you can cut yourself some wood to put underneath your tires if your car were to get stuck. You slip the wood under your tires and yum, power your way out from there. But what if you don't have it with you? But what you do have is a cable, a chain. Tie the cable to the front end and to that, and a few cars that are not stuck. So we were just at a lumber yard where we picked up a couple of big logs. And so let's try and find out whether or not you can use a car and, well, this sort of equipment to cut through. To cut through some kind of a tree stump, a tree, something you can use to get your car out of a trap. I cut across and then boom, 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 I'm flying into the bushes. We're gonna be pulling it one way, then the other, and attempting to cut the log. And then we're gonna try with the chain. So let's see where this goes then. We use 2 Ladas as a chainsaw. Translation and voiceover by Be My Russian. Terrific. Okay, now let's try and put it in neutral, Nikolai. Sergey, go for it. Now it's Sergey's turn. Oh, there we go. Come on, Nikolai, pull. Easy does it. Yeah, feel free to ride the clutch if you need to. Don't think anything bad will happen. What are we looking at? You know what? This actually seems to be working even. Holy cow. There's sawdust flying and everything. I wouldn't say there's a lot of tension on the cable, though. But there's still considerable load. And for it to say snap and hit somebody, I don't think there's enough tension for that to happen. We should be fine. Check this out, guys. This isn't a quick process, but we are getting somewhere. So this is working, but without too much haste. Obviously, if you were using a chainsaw, you'd get this done way quicker. With its dedicated chain, but still, we are making progress, albeit slowly. The thing here is that the cars are what are sustaining the most punishment. Because, well, we're roasting clutches, overheating engines, and you've got quite a bit of stress on the driveline. But fingers crossed that our Ladas hold up. This isn't a little bit left, that's quite a lot. We still have to cut through We're not even halfway done. It is close to the halfway mark, but we've been at this for about an hour. Yeah, I'd say it's an hour at this point. It is what it is. The cars are still in the game, and so are we, and so let's carry on cutting.
Бах! Ну, что могу сказать?
Okay, well, what can I say?
Очень даже
That's a pretty nice clean cut, I reckon.
ровно, если бы трос
If we'd have had the cable level, it would have been cutting through level.
пилил. А чё там?
Let's go have a look at the log.
То есть, получается, за
Yeah, you can tell by looking how many millimeters it was taking out per swing.
метров он проходил. То есть,
It wasn't cutting deep at first,
потом всё
but then as it was starting to deal with less and less girth, it was progressively getting deeper.
больше всё и больше на
Deeper and deeper,
уже в конце
right up until at the very end, the log just sort of broke.
ломил. Но
But it's good.
хорошо. Часа полтора.
That took us an hour and a half,
Какую колоссальную
and the cars were under a lot of stress.
нагружают автомобили. То есть, ну, транспорт,
The engines, the transmissions were really suffering,
мотор и, ну,
and especially the clutches.
самое такое,
Those were the weakest links,
самое становится слабым.
because after you roast the clutch a couple of times,
Задымилось,
it's just not gonna work right.
всё, потом оно уже правильно,
But thankfully the cars were able to hold up.
слава богу, выдержали. Ну,
Okay, so that was the cable, right?
ну, трос. Соответственно,
But we need to compare it to something.
да, что
To something you might also have with you in your trunk,
возить с собой
and that would be the chain.
эту цепь. И попробуем.
Okay, let's try doing the same exact thing, but using a chain.
Поехали. Бах! Бах! Так, всё,
Okay, we're ready to go, and here's the thing.
получается, что, ну, цепь
This chain isn't particularly long. We actually had to extend it by about 5 meters to avoid driving up too close.
близко. Давайте посмотрим,
Okay, let's see how the chain do.
пилить цепь. Вот. Так,
Let's have a look. Oh, wow.
тебе даже вот чуть-чуть только
As soon as the cars assumed the position they were supposed to, with the chain sliding a short distance,
слегка прокатилась,
it already took out the bark, but then that is bark.
это кора. В принципе,
The chain will certainly have a tougher time once we get to the actual wood,
посложнее. Ну,
but let's find out.
уже
That's actually looking
неплохо,
pretty good, I must say.
я вам скажу. Довольно
This is going very well indeed.
всё это дело.
It's already... Well, it's not half, but a good third for sure.
Грила. И прям летит
And you got a lot of sawdust flying.
вперед. Ну, похоже, вот она
And the manner in which the chain is going about its business,
таким интересным местами. Вот
it looks like the welding on the links are doing most of the work.
сварено звено.
This is going very well. So look, the chain has been doing wonderfully. Look at how much it cut out. That is a lot. Certainly more than halfway. But like I already mentioned, the cars are also under a ton of stress. A lot of the components are failing. By a lot, I mean the clutch has gone on that poor 2106. The car cannot drive, and you would have seen all of the smoke it was emitting. The clutch has been roasted. At least it was here for the cable portion. But the chain is doing well, and we're gonna hook up a different car. It is what it is. We'll try and continue using a different car. We do need to finish the job, and so let's carry on. So there you go. We had to make it a bit shorter because the other car is a daily, and we wouldn't want it to get hit by the tree when it falls, or the glass or the trunk lid to get damaged. We want to keep it intact. But this isn't going to affect the overall result. And now let's carry on. Holy cow. It is giving the log a thrashing. Yep. Maybe just reverse the van? Nah. Not so hard, Nick. It's not him. Nick is hard on the brakes, dude. No, Sergey, he can't drive any further. You drive forward. Can't see? There we are. There we are. And we've done it. What do we got? Yeah, it also didn't cut all the way through. And since the car was pulling on it, the tree snapped. I don't really know what to make of this. I guess this is how much the chain was taking out in one swing, but it's tough to tell with how the links are positioned. Regardless, you can still tell by looking at the wood how each cut was getting deeper and deeper as we progressed. By the end, they'd become really deep because you have a very small radius, and at the end of the day, I reckon the chain was twice as fast to cut through the tree. But you need a more powerful car. Yeah, you could do with a more powerful car because the chain was snagging real bad. It was really getting pinched. Yeah, it does look like the welding on the links, well, this right here on the link, it does appear that these were doing most of the work. Yeah, looks like it was doing most of the cutting. Now, before we even drove out to do this, a lot of the guys were like, the cable will get the job done, but there's no point even taking the chain, because it's all rounded and smooth. It's not going to cut through a tree. But as a matter of fact, the situation is quite the contrary. So yeah, the chain did a very good job. But as somebody correctly noted, you're gonna need cars with a bit more power. And another thing, when we were using the cable to cut the tree, we were seeing a fine sawdust, while the chain was producing some actual chips, almost as if you were using a proper saw. What is the moral of the story then? You can definitely use something of this sort made of metal to cut a tree. And if you need to escape some kind of trap, you will. Do you have any other options? And that's all I got. Watch, subscribe, suggestions, comment, give us a big thumbs up. And that's it for this video. Catch you guys later.